Torah tells us in the Tochacha the warnings of what will happen if we do not listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His mitzvos. But at the same time, Torah also tells us the tremendous brachos that await for us if we follow in the ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if we listen to the Torah and obey His commandments. And included in the brachos that we will receive, the Torah says, "V'nisanecha Hashem l'rosh v'lo l'zanav," and Hashem will put you as the head and not the tail. V'yisa rak l'mala v'lo siya l'mata, and you only be above, up, and you will not be down. I thought maybe we'd look that similar language is going to be used soon in Mirza Hashem when it comes to Rosh Hashanah and the Hiratzons. What is the redundancy, as many ask, of that we should be l'rosh v'lo l'zanav? If I'm the rosh, then certainly I am not the zanav. If I am the mala, if I am up, then certainly I'm not down. Why does the Torah is so careful about every single word? Why does the Torah have to tell us both sides of that equation, not just the rosh v'lo l'zanav? So two different approaches, and both are very, very fundamental. The first, why is it the rosh v'lo l'zanav, is that sometimes there is a rosh, there's being on top, which is be'enei adam, which is from a person's perspective, the people's perspective, but it's zanav be'enei Hashem. But from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's perspective, it's just not right. Our values need to be such that they are aligned. What we perceive as being the person who is on top is not the person who the rest of the world necessarily perceives as being on top. We need to make sure that it is a rosh, and it is an objective rosh. It should be a rosh which is a rosh for HaKadosh Baruch Hu and for us. The lol is zanav, and it shouldn't be a zanav at all. And that requires us taking a calculus of what our values are, of what is important to us, and what do we consider being the rosh. Because that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises us. And similarly, v'yisa rak l'mala, you only be v'lo siya l'mata, is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should make us that we are going to be l'mala, not just in Olam Hazeh, but in Olam Haba, in the world to come. That it should be objective, that it shouldn't just be that the ones who are on top here are the ones who have a different place in the Olam HaEmes, but that there should be a consistency. That's one point. And the second, Sheniyeh l'rosh v'lo l'zanav, is that sometimes when we are the rosh, we're looking behind us. We're not in that position of being the rosh, of being at the front and being willing to lead and to take positions and to do what we do need to bring forward. So when you're the rosh, but at the same time, where there's enough, we're turning backwards towards the tail. And that is what the Torah is telling us. That I will make sure is that you will have that clarity. You will be in a position, and it requires our efforts as well, but you will be in such a place that I will put you l'rosh, that you will be l'rosh, but not looking backwards. Because sometimes we're just schlepping along, and we might think of ourselves as being the ones who are leading, but we're not. Yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always the one who's leading us, but we need to make sure that we're not just followers. And it's not just about prominence, it's about values. It's about what is important to us. And that's what we daven for in the Hiratzons on Rosh Hashanah as well. When we ask Sheniyeh l'rosh v'lo l'zanav, we want to make sure that we're not simply connected. It's not just because we're the rosh, because there is a zanav, and the zanav is leading us, but we should be objectively people who inculcate, who spend the time now as the Yomim Noram approach, thinking, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want from us? What does God want from us? What makes us into potentially be leaders, be people who can be the example that others can follow, and that we can hopefully merit the brachas of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Sheniyeh l'rosh, that we will be l'rosh, that we will be l'mala, and we will be able to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the way that He desires and in the way that we know is best for us. And with that, be zocheh to a kasiva v'chasima tova.